Alright, so welcome back to My Team Career Mode. Now, today we are heading to Canada. And I want to quickly just say, it's kind of irrelevant, but last episode at Spain, I changed some settings on my mic and it completely spoiled and ruined that entire recording. So I apologize for that and it will not be happening again. Now, before I head to Montreal, there is a couple things I want to show you. Number one, the current driver standings. We have a 17-point lead in the Drivers' Championship after winning 3 on the trot in Melbourne, Monaco, and then Spain. And we also have a 14-point lead in the Constructors, and the second thing is from this point onwards, we could have up to a 10-car fight for the championship. And here's why. We go to the R&D. You can see there is Aston Martin, McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, us, and then maybe Alpine. All have pretty much the exact same vehicle performance. So these races are about to become the closest and most intense of the entire series. Let's not waste any more time. Get to Canada. And it's qualifying time, and I only really have one target, and that is to not spin my car on the third corner, because I am notorious for doing that. So that's the main target. 2 hot laps as per usual. Let's cook. Right, here we go. Hot lap number 1. It's been a very long time since I've been round Canada. I have oh shit. The absolute best way to start your qualifying session here in Canada. But what I was going to say is I have got nightmares of trying to do time trial around this place. Mainly so with the traction, also like just that corner, and also the exit of the Wall of Champions just going over track limits. But I do like this track sometimes. It's a very up and down relationship. But it's not a horrible first sector. Half a second up on Ocon. Straight line speed looking about 330. That actually is pretty good, I think. Might need to up the downforce a little bit. It's not turning as much as I'd like it to. Now into the hairpin. Oh, way too late on the brakes, but I mean, I was going to go off anyway. I just need to find out where to actually brake. So now I've got that out of the way. Down the back straight. 340, 350? Yeah, 350 for the boys. Heavy on the brakes, decent exit, right up to the wall. Don't do a, I don't know who's crashed into. Oh no. Uh-oh. For context, if you've not seen my previous 3 videos, after my first lap I was P1. Currently P14. What's the gap? Oh. 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 Wow, that's impressive. A whole second, eh? I mean, my Sector 1 looks pretty stellar compared to everyone else. 2 tenths faster than anyone through there. But then I lose half a second in Sector 2. And then 6 tenths in Sector 3. Wow. Right, I need to go big or go home here, or else I'm going to be in the bottom 10. Yay, goody. Now, uncharacteristically, I've actually managed to put together some really strong laps in my second runs in qualifying. I think in Monaco I gained like half a second. In Australia it was like 7 tenths. So we're not out of the shithole just yet, and it's definitely doable. But once again, it's going to have to take a superb, sublime, spectacular effort by Futimus Cribitus III. Very decent Sector 1. I've actually managed to find even more time. Now I'm going to brake a bit earlier, ride the curb a little bit, try not to lose the rear on exit. That's pretty stellar. And this is what I'm talking about! I can find that time that I need to. Brake a bit earlier through here so I don't go too wide. Full throttle early, don't lose the car. Even more time! Come on! Into the hairpin, brake extremely early. Maybe a bit too early. No, that's almost spot on. Get a decent exit, bit of oversteer, that's fine. Foot to the floor, go, go, go. It ain't quite a second, but it is a decent amount of improvement. Into the final chicane. Brake a bit earlier. Get right in there, right up to the wall. Come on! That might not even be a top 5, but that felt good. So Where did that come from? I told you I could find lap time when I need to. P2, only behind Nando Loris. What a time to be alive. Now, we are going to ignore the fact that I went off track into the first part of that final chicane. Shut your mouth. Let me have this one, because that was unreal. Again, P7 for Tsunoda. It's not what we want. We are looking for a top 5 or 4. But when you look at the margins, it is so close. You take Lando Norris out the picture, and there is only 4 or 5 tenths between the top, 13. So, you know, I think Tsunoda's doing all right, but obviously if we want to fight for the constructors, we need him up in the podium places, really. But anyway, also, Pierre Gasly in the Alpine P3. That is an unbelievably good performance by him. But let's move on. Let's get to Sunday and see if we can convert a P2 for my 4th race win in a row. And here we are on Sunday afternoon here in Montreal for the Formula 1 Pirelli Grand Prix du Canada 2023 at the world-famous Gilles Villeneuve circuit. And actually, it looks a bit moody. I think it might stay dry. There you go. It's overcast, 18 degrees, so pretty chilly compared to the other places we've been. I mean, it was like 35 in Spain and 38 in Australia. 2.7 miles, 14 turns. You've seen the track. Let's go. Now, I'm sure you've noticed if you've been watching this series for a while that pretty much every single race I do a soft-medium strategy. And I do think they need to make it a way, whether they make the tyres wear more or something like that, where you can have diverse strategies work. Because every single race, you either do soft-medium or medium-soft. And that is the quickest way, undisputed. But anyway, that's what we're going to be running. Completely dry race, little bit less fuel. I think we're ready. Let's go for this 4th race win of the season and on the trot. Come on. Now, you know how I am with my starts. They're usually quite good. Is today? Today is no different, and I'm gone. Lando Norris with the worst start I've ever seen to a Formula 1 Grand Prix. He's going to drop back considerably, all the way outside of the top 5 already. Pierre Gasly up to P2. I've held him off, and I can now speed away into the lead in this Canadian Grand Prix. See ya! Here comes Gasly. Gasly goes down the inside. Can I hold him off? Don't use too much throttle. I don't want to oversteer straight into the side of him. Now, this is going to be pretty difficult to defend. Luckily, I am going to go into a little chicane, which you can't really overtake in. So if I can just stay ahead, we should be good to go. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Lovely stuff. So, at the end of lap 1, maybe, potentially, possibly, I am going to hold on to P1. But Gasly's fighting me again. Whoa, Gasly! Relax, buddy! Try not to lose the rear. We are still wheel to wheel with Gasly. Let's try and give him some racing room. We are wheel to wheel. We are still wheel to wheel. I keep that position and also gain some time because he was in a tricky spot. That's always a good thing. Oh, a little bit wide. That's fine. Okay. Let's just compose myself. I am going to lower my downforce when I stop, because it does seem that every car around me has got considerably more straight line speed. And when I'm out in P1, I only need straight line speed because you can't overtake me in the corners anyway. Right, Gasly is going to go for it again, but I am going to just cover off the inside so that he can't do anything. He's not going to go for the switchback, and I think Piastri might get in the mix as well. And I just about have the ERS to not get overtaken, but I haven't got a lot, because here comes Gasly again. He's going to go for a move in the chicane. That's very brave from Gazza, and it ain't going to work, and he has some oversteer. Will Piastri go for it? Go on, son. Oh, no, he's under pressure from Russell behind, as Russell also takes the fastest lap. He goes to the outside of Piastri. What's he going to do? Is he going to get that move done? You can see him in, what's it called? The mirror, that's the one. I forgot what they were called then. They are still wheel to wheel, which is a good and bad thing. It's going to build a massive gap between me, Gasly, and Piastri. But what it does mean is that, you know, well, it's now just between me and Gasly. And I don't know what Gasly's cooking. P2, considerably quicker than me, I must say. He's got DRS, so gonna have to be very careful. Might have to start deploying some tactics where I give myself DRS on purpose. down this back straight just to hold on to position. But when am I pitting? Lap 11. Tyre wear is also very low. Look at that. 3 laps in, 2 or 3% a wheel. Like nothing. Wow. I just had a stellar first sector, and as you can see, I've actually managed to build a little bit of a gap to Gasly, which is gorgeous. I mean, that is going to come back down through this next sector, but hopefully that should cover me off entirely from this back straight. And oh man, I have to brake so early through there. And there's another fastest lap for me. I'm not entirely sure how. Maybe it's because I actually locked in and tried to go quick rather than having to also fight Gasly at the same time. I can actually drive my car. That's always a positive sign. Right, I've noticed that my rear tyres are considerably more worn than my fronts, so I'm going to have to start taking exits a little bit more carefully so that my rears don't just pass away. But then, this is tricky actually. I need to somehow manage not only keeping my rears nice and healthy, but also not losing too much time and get done in by Gasly. Oh, goodness gracious, why can't I just drive a car and win a race? Oh, Leclerc, I feel so sorry for you. He crashes in his home Grand Prix in Monaco, and then 2 races later, he DNFs from the Canadian Grand Prix. That man cannot catch a break. Will it bring out any form of safety car, though? Because if it does, I'm going straight in, and I'm probably going to put on a set of hards. Right, Gasly's getting a bit too close for comfort. Hi, Leclerc. Bye, Leclerc. I'm going to have to actually start avoiding slipstreams and stuff now. He is definitely hanging on, although I'm not going as quick as I conceivably can, purely because I am trying to save my rears a little bit. But, I mean, so far it's pretty comfortable. I mean, Gasly isn't getting too close. Oh, shit. As I say that, he immediately gets right to my arsehole. Yeah, but he isn't getting close enough to actually go for a move. And I've got so much ERS to spare that even with DRS, he can't really do anything. So, I'm chilling. I don't know what's going on behind Russell, but you can see Russell in P3, 2.3 seconds back. He's cooking me right now. He is catching up rapidly, but look at the gap behind him. How has it got to 5 seconds? What are you lot doing over there? Massive development. I have actually managed to escape Gasly's DRS down the back straight. So now the gap is 1.2. I don't think it's going to matter too much, but you know, every singular second, or well, not second, every like 100th, every 1,000th I gain is huge. So being outside of that DRS is massive, and now we're going to be boxing. It's time to dump that ERS tank and try and gain even more. Whoa, big snapper. Can we not have snappies going on? Why are we getting snappy? Why are we getting loosey-goosey? Can we not? Anyway, it's time to pit. Can I actually do the pitting, though? Here we go. Oh, I've absolutely smashed that out of the park. What a driver. So Russell's going to continue on. He actually managed to get that gap down to 1.7. That man has some scary pace. Gasly's also coming in behind, which is a good thing. And also, we should come out in a gorgeous bit of clean air. Directly behind Verstappen, but ahead of the AlphaTauris. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Right, so Noda's in. Russell stayed out. The other Mercedes has stayed out. Gasly is still right up my arse, and he is seriously cooking. So I'm going to emerge P4, which means the Grand Slam is out the window. And I don't know what Gasly's cooking, but his tyres are just simply better than mine for some reason. Right, crucially, I'm going to have DRS on Jack Doohan here, so that should help me pull away from Gasly just a tad. Hey, Jack! Can I just, like, scream past you? Is that okay? Here I come! Can we not, like, faff about? Thanks, Jack. I knew you'd understand, apart from the fact you've just rear-ended me. Get in the pits, mate. Piss off. Right, both Mercedes are still out. They are both on medium, so you'd expect that, but I don't know why I can't clear off Gasly. He's just cooking, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what he had for breakfast. I don't know what he's had to drink. I don't know if he's had some coffee. I don't know if he's had like a Red Bull, or actually, to be fair, he probably wouldn't have a Red Bull, would he? Oh, and Russell's finally stopped. Holy shit. So I had an 11-second gap to Russell before he pitted. So I should be a what? 8-second gap or something like that? Oh, yeah, 6 seconds. Okay, not horrible. And now I can try and cook Iwasa as well. Come on, Iwasa, let's have your son. Actually, I'm going to play it smartly. I'm just going to let him give me DRS down the back straight as well. Hi, Iwasa. I want to do the same thing as Duan. How you going? How's that work then? He's going quicker than me. And I've got DRS, ERS. Why have you got to make it such a faff? I hate that. You're pitting anyway. Just let me through. For God's sake. Anyway, we're back into P1. 5.8 second gap to Russell. And we still have 10 whole laps left. These races are long, I can't lie. Right, it's lap 18 now. And I am really locking in. I'm not only trying to build that gap up to Gasly, but I'm also just trying to keep off Russell because he is catching at a rate of knots. He's currently doing about half a second a lap. But of course, the one good part is I've got Gasly in the way. And although Gasly might not put up much of a fight, we can hope. And I think it's clear that Russell is my main threat now. And oh, that time gain in Sector 2 is worrying. Russell sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 9.28. So a whole 2 and a bit tenths quicker than my fastest lap. This man is frying up some eggs. Although he is posh and British, so he's actually frying up some crumpets, but you get what I mean. Right, lap 20 begins. My gap to Gasly is increased to 1.9, but my gap to Russell is all the way down to 3.5. Oh, shit. Whoa, big oversteer. Come on, Gasly. Please fight him. Beat him up. I know I don't like the French, and if I was in bomber control, I would remove France from existence. But for this one time and one time only, I want the French to conquer the British. Come on, Gasly. For the boys. Gap to Russell has actually stayed at 3.5 during this lap. Gasly's gap has improved. And I think it's about time I say, right, tyres, I'm not interested in you. And I give it the beans. Oh, it seems Russell's a bit stuck. As my gap to Gasly continues to increase, my gap to Russell is actually getting a little bit bigger, but it's staying roughly the same, 3.5, that kind of region. This is excellent news as we enter the final 5 laps of this race. Actually, no, final 4 laps. Oh, Russell's gone for a move down the inside of the chicane, and he's fighting with Gasly. This is excellent news. I believe Russell does have DRS though, so he is going to clear off Gasly, but look at that. The gap is up to 4.5. And there is only 3 laps left. Come on, car, we can do this. Right, 2 laps remaining and the gap has stayed the same. Oh, yes, that might have just sealed it. Come on, car, you beauty. Let's bring this home. And then get on the... What comes from Canada? Get on the maple syrup. Let's do that. That's a good idea. Whoa! Don't be getting snappy on me now. Right, final lap of the Canadian Grand Prix. And the gap has extended to 5.1. And one thing I've also noticed, there is a Haas. Very well. Don't be getting skinny on me now. There is a Haas very close in front of me. Is there a slim chance I can actually lap someone in a My Team Career mode race? That would be unreal. But let's do this thing. 4th win of the season, 4 wins in a row. I feel it. Give it to me now. Let's go. Round this chicane. I hate that so much. Gap has increased by another half a second. It's now up to 5.7. Brakes way too early round there, but honestly, I do not give a living or dead shit. Down the back straight for the final time. Oh, this is brilliant. At the start of this season, I had the worst race I've ever driven, finishing P7 at Bahrain. And then I have responded in the best possible way by finishing P1, 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 P1. 1. Ah! Come on! What a time to be alive. You are witnessing history in the foot crim Formula 1 team. Max Verstappen's 10 in a row record. I'm coming for you, bitch. Don't be sitting pretty, because the way it's going, I'm going to win every single race for the rest of the year. I'll wrap up the title before, like, Belgium. I'll have won the championship before the summer break. I'm cooking. But anyway, that was the Canadian Grand Prix. Here is the final finishing order. We have me, Footimus Crimatus, the third, Crimfoot, Foot Crim, Petrinka63, Pidlug, whatever you want to call me as. I've won, P1. Unfortunately, I did miss out on the fastest lap by 0.3 of a second, but to be fair, what am I supposed to do? George Russell on fresh softs, with DRS, with low fuel. You can't stop that. And then we've got Gasly in P3. That is still an incredible effort by Gasly. Stayed right on my arsehole for most of that race, and then done well to fight off Russell for a little bit, so commendable effort by Gasly. The same cannot be said, however, for Lando Norris. Started P1 and had one of the worst starts to a Grand Prix I have ever seen in my life, but a decent recovery back up to P4. And Yuki Tsunoda, it's +1 place. He moves up to P6, although I'm fairly certain that 1 place became a thing purely because of Leclerc's DNF. I could be wrong, but I think that's what that is. So, when we go to the Drivers' Championship, also another thing I didn't even notice, Sergio Perez started P12, only finished P8, so I gain 21 points on Perez, and the Drivers' standings now look like this: 34 points ahead. After round 2, I was still 20-30 odd behind, and now in round 5, I am 34 ahead. Tsunoda, only 1 point off Zhou Guanyu and 3 points off Norris, so not doing horribly, although to be fair, 70 points behind your teammate, 5 races in, ain't a good look. Into the Constructors, we now lead by 30 points over Mercedes, so Mercedes actually takes second off McLaren after that race, so our main rivals, I'd say now, is Mercedes. McLaren's sort of fallen off a little bit, but that's going to be all from me today. What a race, what a time to be alive, 4 in a row, lovely stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video of mine. See ya!